Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to go into the Fifth Frontier War, Fleets of the Minor Powers. This is a book I was actually really excited about when I first read about it, and it did not disappoint. But a quick program note, please be aware if you haven't seen me posting up on Facebook in the last week or two, it's because Facebook hasn't been cooperating. It's been not taking the video and putting it into Facebook. It has been telling me I've posted too often, therefore I can't post, and other times it'll just not let things go up. So I will continue to post to Blue Sky. I'll do what I can with Facebook. I still check Facebook. You can DM me at Facebook if you need to. But as far as any kind of postings for right now, I'm probably not even going to bother trying for a little bit. This has been going on for weeks now, so I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but if you know, please let me know in the comments below. But back to the important stuff, the Fifth Frontier War, Fleets of the Minor Powers. I always thought this was a kind of a good one when I read the premise, simply because the minor powers can be where a lot more of the adventure is. So let's go take a look what's in here. First off, written by Martin J. Doherty. Yay! He does a nice book. And we get the table of contents. The introduction. Who are the minor powers? Basically, the fleet of the major powers are the Third Imperium, the Jordani Consulate, and then the minor powers would be the Darrians, the Sword Worlds, any kind of mercenary company, or Vargir. So that's what we got to look at in this book. This book is 226 pages, by the way, cover to cover. And then realities of the conflict, and then the contributions of the minor powers. So it just talks about what's going on with the Fifth Frontier War and the minor powers. This, of course, takes place behind the Claw, the Spinward Marches region. And the Fifth Frontier War is kind of busy down around where I've been running my campaign, District 268. So we're going to be seeing some action there as the summer winds down, vacations wind down, and I can resurrect my Traveler campaign. It's been about 6 or 8 weeks. So the first one we look at is the Sword World's Darrian situation. These are two neighboring states that have not gotten along very well. We get some information on that. Nice artwork throughout. I really enjoyed this. Space combat tactics. These are interesting. You've got to kind of be ready if you're going to try to run these, that you have to give a little bit of hand-wavium to some of it, because physics and momentum say that some of this wouldn't work. But what the heck? So the initial closing, and then you turn around and surprise your enemy, and slashing approach, disorder. Lots of neat little tips in here. I enjoy stuff like this because it really gets my imagination going. And now we get Naval Forces of the Sword Worlds Confederation. This is a lot of the book, and frankly, it's a lot of the reason I bought the book. I was really excited about this. The Sword Worlds are going to be the big bad evil guy in my Traveler campaign as I go through the Fifth Frontier War. They're going to play a lot of interesting bits in that, so I was really excited about reading this, and it didn't disappoint at all. I liked the ships. We get a look at the Sword Worlds Confederation doctrine, how they do what they do. Sword World Confederation is just a confederation of planets that operate together as the Sword Worlds, but one planet cannot command the other to do this or that. Every planet has to be careful that its neighbor doesn't get too much power, so they have to husband their resources a little bit. It can make for some dynamic role-playing and a lot of good politics. So we come up to defensive operations, raiding operations, and then naval organization for the Sword Worlds. How the fleets are organized, who commands what, and then we get some tables of organization. I enjoy these. Some people have commented on other books about the Fifth Frontier War, about the fleets, that these take up too much space. Frankly, I like them. It helps me keep everything kind of in perspective. And we get High Guard, Sword Worlds Confederation. So we get what they use for some of their ships. It's peculiar to the Sword Worlds. And the Sword Worlds fleet is built around tech level 12, thereabouts, where their neighbors, the Darrians, are built around tech level 15 to 16. So it's kind of neat, but the Darrians aren't as numerous as the Sword Worlds and aren't as aggressive. It's kind of a neat dynamic. So we continue on with our High Guard. And then we get this capital ships, the Sword Worlds Confederation. I enjoyed this part a great deal. The Denisov Battlecruiser, I love that. This guy's 80,000 tons, built on a tech level 12 base. So pretty sweet. The Gustav Capital System defense vessel, sorry, not a boat, at 400,000 tons. I guess it wouldn't be a boat. And the neat thing I got, like this, it's an asteroid ship. Asteroid ships were not new to me when I first started playing Traveller. I had encountered asteroid ships in old comic books and a couple episodes of Star Trek, that kind of stuff. But it's one of the things that really got me hooked in Traveller. I love the idea of hollowing out an asteroid, strapping an engine to it, and off you go. That's just so cool, and it was neat to see one here. The Gustav Capital System defense vessel. The Edsvold, first-class battleship, 200,000 ton displacement, thrust 4, jump 2. That's pretty much what their fleet is built to. Not any good to have a fleet if you can't keep a fleet together, so you have to make sure that their engines perform about the same level. The Göteborg, second-class battleship. This would be for more rear-line duty. Not always. Depends on the group that owns it, which planet owns it. I'm not even got Anna Droitning command cruiser. Okay, that was a toughie. This guy's 40,000 ton displacement. These are just, I love this kind of stuff. I just had so much fun reading this. I wish I had had a little bit more time in my personal life to just sit down and do this, read this in a couple of sittings, but things have been a little hectic. We were in the heart of the really bad weather that happened, and we've been having a bunch of different stuff done. So I haven't been able to put the time to reading this that I wanted, but I really enjoyed it. Major warships of the Sword Worlds Confederation. This Visby heavy cruiser, built to tech level 10, 40,000 ton. And nice top-down deck plans. The Tryggvason light cruiser. And we get some tactics and how to use this light cruiser. 20,000 ton displacement. Again, the nice top-down. A strike destroyer, the Ornen. 4,000 tons displacement. And these are the ships that I kind of have in mind for my campaign when you're getting down to the 4,000 to 6,000 ton displacement. My active duty campaign, which is starting out in District 268, because I wanted to dovetail with my existing Murder Hobo campaign. But the ship I'm using, or the crew is using in the active duty campaign, is an Element class cruiser with 70,000 ton ship. And I think it's neat to have some 4,000 ton vessels from the Sword Worlds come in. One of the things the guys are going to find is that the Sword Worlds are going to come in where they think is going to be a raid, and they're going to be in a position to maybe interdict. So looking forward to that game. That's probably going to be the next game I run. And they'll know all that going in. So 4,000 ton ship again. And then small vessels of the Sword Worlds Confederation. We had a mineling frigate, the Genton. Oh, this has a jump too, so okay, they're just smaller craft, but they are not strictly sublight ships. The heavy CS-800 heavy corvette, some more tactics you can use with it. The Braxton N light communications vessel. This is the naval variant, 200 ton displacement. Small craft of the Sword Worlds Confederation. So this is more what I was thinking. So we get the Turanma fighter, the Rauma utility boat, the Draug torpedo boat, and these are all smaller vessels, 80 tons for the torpedo boat. And para-naval vessels of the Sword Worlds Confederation. These would be vessels that could be pressed into service if needed. We have an armed merchant cruiser here, the Birding F. And that's 5,600 tons. And naval force of the Darrian Confederation. So what their ethics are, what their war aims are, and then this is for the Darrians now that we've finished with the Sword Worlds. Warships of the Darrian Confederation. And the Darrian Confederation is also just a gathering of star systems that cooperate and work together, but they work together much better than the Sword Worlds do. They're not squabbling all the time over everything, which the Sword Worlds tend to do. So you get a little more cohesive government in the Darrian Confederation. So we have defensive operations, offensive operations, other operations. The naval organization for the Darrian Confederation, again, the more organizational charts. High Guard for the Darrian Confederation. I actually took a look at the antimatter weapons in a video a week or two ago. I'll put a link to that with this video. And we also get a look at a nice Mason cannon, rapid pulse laser, and the Star Trigger. I'm going to do a video on the Star Trigger, but that's one of the most fascinating things about Traveler's Space Elves, the Darrians, is the Star Trigger. They once triggered their star to nova through basically misapplication of science, and now they figured out a way to do it artificially. It becomes an ultimate doomsday threat for anybody who bothers them. I like it. Capital ships of the Darrian Confederation. The Nithilher flagship. This guy's 600,000 ton, built on a tech level 15 to 16 base. I love these ships. These are so much fun. I'm trying to figure out a way to hook a couple of Darrian ships into my campaign too. I'm the game master, so I can do whatever I want, but I want it to make sense. And then major Darrian warships. And the Darrian warships, we find out, are more built for more universal role than one dedicated role, like some of the torpedo boats and such for the Sword Worlds, but that's the flexibility of having a higher tech base. So this is the Zungold Major Anti-Warship Vessel. This guy is 80,000 tons, built on tech level 15 to 16. Thrust 6, jump 3. Nice vessel. I love these. These are so much fun to read. I love the Darrians. They're magical tech of the Space Elves. It's so cool. And anybody who's confused by me calling them Space Elves, Traveler came along when D&D was still very young, and a lot of the Traveler stuff grew out of these guys playing D&D. Not all, but a lot. And among that was a desire to have some D&D type things, so they gave us humans with pointy ears, and they are the Darrians. So everybody, all the old guys like me, used to call them the Space Elves. With the Zungold S Special Operations variant. A lot of times this is where the Star Trigger will be. What does the Star Trigger do? Well, as I said, that'll be a future video. Because I want to talk a little bit about the Star Trigger through various editions as well. The Hetza Major Anti-Warship Vessel. I love that it's just an anti-warship. You warships, you get out of here. 20,000 ton displacement. Some more tactics to use with it. Minor Darrian warships. So we got a fleet reconnaissance vehicle, the Zdenad, I guess. Some of these are hard to say. Tech level 15. Even the Imperium doesn't run at tech level 15 as a standard. That's just one of the reasons I love the Darrians. The Zaldat Family Fleet Escort. Fleet Escort's very important. If nothing else, they can act as a tripwire for the larger vessel to keep it from being swamped by smaller vessels. And we have the Zaldat B Anti-Ship Escort, 3,000 ton displacement. Thrust 6, jump 3, fleet standard. And then the Zaldat C Anti-Fighter Escort. This designed specifically to keep fighters off of the larger ships. The Dokinas Patrol Vessel. It's an example of low-end ships used by the Darrian Navy for patrolling and security. So it's 2,000 ton displacement, tech level 15 again, that's low end, but it's thrust 6 only a jump 2, so it wouldn't really be able to keep up with the fleet, but still a solid vessel. Other vessels of the Darrian Confederation, the Zeladal, however you say that, anti-missile escort. This is a 500 ton vessel, tech level 15. The Thandal anti-corvette escort, 500 tons again, TL-15. And then the Neldet family of small craft. So we get some small craft here, 60 ton displacement. In Travelers, you know, anything under 100 ton displacement cannot mount a jump drive. So it has to just be a spaceship, not a starship. And then we get the Naval Forces, the Federation of Arden. Federation of Arden would be a great place to put a campaign set in the Fifth Frontier War. The Federation of Arden is trying to be a major player, but neither the Jordani or the Imperial governments will recognize them until the Jordani get the idea of saying, hey, yeah, we'll recognize you as a government, but let us use you as kind of a staging area and a non-hostile neutral. And they said, yeah, sounds good. So you can do a lot of stuff, role-playing politically in the Federation of Arden. We get a patrol vessel there. This is the Karsner, 400-ton displacement. And thrust 2, jump 1. And then we go to the naval forces of the Vargir factions. This is kind of neat. I love the Vargir. Very fractured society based on personal charisma of the leader. Whoever is the most charismatic at the moment gets to hold sway for a while and be the commander until somebody more charismatic comes along. And the Vargir tend to be very fractious because of that and can be great for your Traveler campaign. Very numerous behind the claw. Their homeworld is Lair. This is the Silent Fang raiding vessel, 800-ton displacement, thrust 4, jump 2. So good raider. And that's mostly what we have here. The Dazor Raker strike cruiser. This guy's 7,000 tons displacement. The Vuekna, the Fortunate Buccaneer Corsair. I like that name, Fortunate Buccaneer. 600-ton displacement, tech level 12. And then we get a look at Vargir's small craft, a 30-ton boat, the Kair Assault variant. And then the Command variant. And then mercenary and other vessels. So mercenaries can play a big part on either side for the Fifth Frontier War. Any side, really. Be the Outworld Coalition, which is their Jordani-led portion, or the Imperial portion. You can do a lot with mercenaries here. It'd be a great place to run mercenaries, especially if you want to affect the larger campaign of the overarching war. So we have the Neen Peel Transport, tech level 12, 6,000-ton displacement, thrust 2, jump 2. So just kind of a workhorse of a transport. Get your personnel to the ground. The Saputra security vessel, 3,000-ton displacement, thrust 2, jump 1, so short-legged. The Type MQ Covert Operations Vessel. It's a Q ship. I love a Q ship. A Q ship started up, I believe, in World War II, or World War I rather, although it may predate that. And basically it's to make a vessel look like a harmless merchant. You suck in bad guys to want to come and steal the stuff off the merchant, but surprise, it's got guns. That's essentially what a Q ship is. And it's kind of neat, but a Q ship specifically has to be working for some side in a conflict. It can't just be pirates doing that trick, because then it's technically not a Q ship, but it is. And there we go. And this is an 800-ton or 600-ton displacement, thrust 1, jump 3. So it looks like a nice fat trader, and surprise, it's got weapons. The Mazmat Frigate, 1,000-ton displacement, tech level 12, thrust 4, jump 2. Morgan's Secure Yacht. If you have that rich person who has to travel in a war zone, this is the safest way to do that. So we get a nice look at a secure yacht. Let's see what the tech level is on the secure yacht. It's tech level 15, 2,000 ton. So, pretty nice vessel. Costs you a penny. The Anuka Secure Shuttle. So there we go. 50-ton displacement. And then we get an index, and this is a nice little index. Oh, yay. But then we get a great index by factions. You want to look up all the Sword World vessels brought out in this. You have them there. The Darrian, the Federation of Arden. You get them all right here. The fleet organization charts, and then the back cover. So I really liked this. This is one that I was excited about getting when I first read about it, I don't know how many months ago, and it did not disappoint. So there you have it. That's a look at the Fifth Frontier War fleets of the minor powers. I love the stuff that Mongoose has done with the Fifth Frontier War. It's a shame that the Fifth Frontier War hasn't felt more coherent. It's been kind of scattered because stuff is being offered on kind of an irregular basis, and you really have to kind of watch for it and keep the flavor of the Fifth Frontier War alive on your own. It's kind of sad that Mongoose didn't do more to support the Fifth Frontier War, but it is what it is. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. Tell your friends about the channel. Let's keep growing it. It's been growing nicely. I'd like to continue that trend. Also, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. That's all I've got today on page 121. Thanks for watching. and I'll see you next time.